Something like that.
That was a bit of fun. Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers.
I'm the Captain.
Once again, you are summoned to Andertons.co.uk digitally.
Digitally?
Yes.
By the power of the Winterweb.
The Winterweb.
The Winterweb.
That sounds like a Norwegian
Actually,
metal band. That wasn't, it is now.
So, it's been a long time. I've said that twice now in video. It's been a long time.
Fine.
It's been a long time since we stocked Washburn. Anyway, so Washburn, yeah, back when I was a nipper working in Andertons, and I'm going to try and remember what the model names were for the Washburn stuff, but they had like these crackle paint finishes and 36 fret guitars, and what was that Washburn?
Was that back when
range
Washburn
called?
were cool?
Yeah, it was kind of. This was back when literally Nuno Betancourt first used Washburn guitars. So we are talking, back in the day.
When they had the blue Saraceno.
Yes.
Model.
No, that was Yamaha.
Oh, was it?
Pretty sure blue Saraceno was Yamaha.
I thought, maybe
Might
I'm
have got that
completely
wrong.
wrong then. Evil Twin.
And then kind of Washburn, and they were up there. They were one of the big boys as far as the sort of Whittle stuff went. And then I don't know what happened to Washburn. Maybe they had different owners, different fortunes, whatever, and kind of disappeared off the radar. And with the exception really of Nuno, I guess even Extreme kind of, and Nuno disappeared for a while, didn't he, in terms of sort of doing much.
They're back and they're doing good things now.
Yeah, and they had a couple of artists, but nobody of like mega sort of thing. And then last year, or year before that, I can't remember, last year I think it was, we heard about this new range called Parallaxe.
Oh, you know what? I used to have a Washburn.
Did you?
Back when I was a little dude, I say little dude, I was like sort of 17. All I ever wanted was Steve Vai Gem, Nuno Betancourt Washburn, another Steve Vai Gem, and another Betancourt Washburn.
Why not?
But I couldn't afford any of those.
Okay.
I did end up with the Gem. So what I did is I got the cheapest Washburn I could find, and it was great.
What did they call that Washburn range? You're going to have to tell me in the comment section. But anyway, so this idea of Parallaxe, and then of course our friend Ola England, the absolute Scandinavian
monster
rock demon, endorsed them and had his own range done, the sort of the solar range, which I think are super duper. So I thought, let's have a look at this Parallaxe range, because we probably, there's enough interesting now about these guitars to sort of put them up alongside the current sort of rock behemoth brands like, your sort of Ibanez's and your Jacksons and ESPs and stuff like that. Chapman, he says, just throwing that one in there. And so the vibe behind Parallaxe, now that we've had a chance to play them, is kind of like a mixed one really, or a balanced one, I think, because these are what Washburn have decided to do is use, certainly on the Far Eastern made ones, is use a good quality factory, but that is perhaps generally associated with making some of the more affordable guitars.
Well, I'm fairly sure it's. I don't know if you know the history of factories. It's one of those things.
Well, let's not say what it might be, just in case it isn't.
Oh,
just
okay.
say that it was made in Indonesia.
Okay, a factory moved to Indonesia because it shut down and it's in Indonesia.
I don't know. We don't know that. But what they've done is they've taken a guitar that kind of feels affordable, but they've kind of then loaded it up, or certainly on the models, some of the models in the range, they've loaded it up with monster spec. Now I have a spec list here. So typically, you will find on a Parallaxe guitar a Stevenson's cutaway. Now, we only have a through neck guitar here, or a set neck guitar here rather than a bolt on neck, so it's not as easy to see that. But if Rob flips the guitar,
flip.
This is the Stevenson's extended cutaway. If this was a bolt on neck, it would have a really cool sort of like moon shaped. Can't remember what can't remember what you call it, neck plate that holds the neck in place, and you'd kind of see a really big extended cutaway. You've got good spec'd Floyd Roses on the models with Floyd Roses. We have oversized brass blocks again in the trem systems. We've got all Grover hardware. We've got USA pickups. We've got Buzz Fightin tuning systems, super jumbo frets. A full contact bridge. How could you not have a full contact bridge? I'm not entirely sure if this is just a general Parallaxe tag that goes on all the Parallaxe guitars and that some of them has Buzz Fightin, or perhaps somebody much cleverer than me will explain how the Buzz Fightin system works when you don't have a compensated nut.
It's not compensated.
It says Buzz Fightin tuning system on the back of this guitar with a patent pending.
That's a bit weird though, because it's not.
Someone's going to have to explain, who's much cleverer than we are, how the Buzz Fightin tuning system works when the nut.
Well, it can't. It doesn't. I'm just going to put my hand down and say That's just a round. That's a nut. That's not a Buzz Fightin nut.
Saying nothing. So what you end up with as a consumer, and you are all consumers out there because you consume, is a choice really of spending money on a Parallaxe guitar, where what you get is unbelievably high spec kind of hardware and appointments, but on a guitar that still perhaps feels a little bit more affordable. Or, of course, you could look at other brands where you might find something where for the same price the feel is a little better, but perhaps the hardware is either unbranded or just of a lower specification.
Yes.
So there's an angle. You got a Washburn has a different angle, so you just got to decide if that's for you. The range runs from about £400, so there's some very affordable guitars in there. The meat of the range, the bulk of the range, is around about the sort of £700 to £800 range. There's 6 strings, 7 strings, Floyd Rose guitars, non-Floyd Rose guitars, There is an American custom shop, so if you've got uber money burning a hole in your pocket, and I'm talking, £3,000, £4,000, £5,000, not 150 quid.
They did things like that snakeskin Betancourt that I.
Yeah, you might want to have a look at that. We've had a couple come through as special orders for customers on the solar models, and they were pretty spectaculoso guitars, but you'd expect them to be for that kind of money. As it stands at the moment, the bulk of the Parallaxe range is still due to arrive with Andertons at some point over the coming months. So I just grabbed the only 2 that we had in, which may not be the best 2 examples, but they're all coming. So yeah, this is more a question of just this is a sort of a teaser video, if you like. We'll do some more, but yes, let's hear some tones.
Basically, affordable Indonesian-made guitars with lots and lots of wicked spec added on, and here is one of them.
Can I just say, and while I was thinking of this, there are basically going to be 4 body shapes within the Parallaxe range. There's going to be Parallaxe L. Can't imagine what the L stands for. Have a guess in the comments section below. Parallaxe, I can't remember the model numbers, but basically one that's got the 6 tuners on one side like this, and then the other body shape, it's still a super strap body shape, but it's going to have 3 tuners each side. And I was suddenly looking at that thinking, goodness, isn't that a really small headstock?
It's tiny. Yeah, it's really, really small.
It's like almost, I don't know, I'm guessing it's probably just trying to be different to a sort of a classic Jackson kind of.
I think it's really small, if you stay 10% outside of an outline, you're legal.
Yeah, possibly. But
so they just went.
There's lots of brand. I mean, ESP's the brand that I always think when you get like the MH and the M series, and the guitars are essentially, they look very, very similar, but just different headstocks on them.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
What would you prefer? Do you like 6 aside or 3 aside?
Are you talking about football?
I have no idea really.
Because I
It's-
know nothing
you know
about
nothing
football.
about. Well, you don't really have three-a-side football.
I can't
do you?
even turn that into an innuendo because it's way beyond my kind of experience,
Sorry.
real.
Anyway, well, look,
but we should listen to some clean tones.
yes, you're
because
right.
everyone wants to hear clean tones. There you go. So, just kidding with you.
these funny locking machine heads that lock from the top rather than the back, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I like them. No, they're good.
That's what I've got on this. See,
They're
that's
super cool.
See, this is a really inexpensive guitar, the one I've got in my hands here, and yet it's still got, kind of like Grover locking, 18:1 ratio locking
How much
tuners,
is
Seymour Duncan
this
American pickups.
retailing for them?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It's about £700 or £800, but I will find out. Yes, officially, that was inappropriate use of a clean tone because this guitar doesn't want to do that.
What are you talking about? Sounds good.
Dirty chug stuff, please.
Does all that.
Do a bit of Metallica, maybe? I'm just thinking. Can I tune you? That bottom.
Why don't you dip it while I get down and
Okay, I'll do- That works well. That's what everybody. You need a wingman. Every guitar player just needs a wingman.
Forget
just to
the
do that.
white stripes. It's the Captain and Chappers thing. Should we try that one then?
Yeah, I really want to get some prices on these to get some sort of what's the perspective on
All
what.
right.
what
While
we're
you're
actually
doing that,
playing.
I'll get the camera set up. Het up. I'm all het-fielded now. Set up on that.
I think we should just
beautiful
jam.
guitar.
We should jam.
We'll jam as well.
baby.
Oh, the someone.
So you heard Rob's. I got the prices whilst we had a little interlude there. This particular one here is around about the 750 mark.
750 quid.
This one here is around about the 550 mark. So again, it's kind of. Again, I don't want to be sort of. It's just you guys have got to make a decision if this is your sort of thing. My gut feeling is this kind of feels like it doesn't feel like a £550 guitar. Obviously in a bad way. But of course, it's specced up with stuff that you might expect to see on a more expensive guitar.
Are you saying it's a little bit like kind of an alright looking girl that's got loads of really cool makeup and clothes on, so she looked great on the outside, but when you get her undressed, it's a different situation?
Well, other than the fact that wasn't the analogy I was thinking of using, but yes. But we've all had one of those,
I have to drop an honesty bomb and say that it's for £750. I think that's a bit expensive.
I think again, and we know this because of course we know on the Chapman guitars just how much extra it costs when you have to get American parts flown over to the Far East and then have added to Indonesian or Far Eastern made guitars. It does add a lot of money on relatively. I can kind of understand if you're making a guitar that's going to be £1,500 anyway, and you add American pickups to it. pro rata, it doesn't add a lot of money onto it. Of course, if you're making a guitar that's perhaps only going to be £300 and you say can I have American pickups on it, sometimes that guitar can become £500.
Yeah.
And you end up going, hang on a second, that's so. Look, I don't have any problem whatsoever with that, other than the fact I think again it's your choice, guys. You know, it's like, and what I really want to do as well, I think the two models that I think are most exciting in the Parallaxe range are the Solar, which is the Ola model, which we haven't got today, and we'll do another video of that in the future when it does come in. And I want to find the bolt-on neck, because it's the bolt-on neck where the Stevenson's extended cutaway really comes into its own, and it's kind of a very different style. But anyway, we're back to the sort of the PXL. I can't even remember which one this is now. 10, I think. Maybe the 20. Can I just say, please, Washburn and all of you guitar brands that do this, because I know Ibanez are infuriating with the same thing as well. They don't put on the guitar anywhere what model it is. So you're when you've got several models that are all similar in a sort of a PXL or PXM kind of range, PXS range, sorry. And they don't say what they are in there. It's terribly confusing for the sales guys in the store and the customers, looking at them to go, so which one's that again then? Anyway.
There you go. More information.
Yeah, please, if you're watching. So anyway, here we
Give
go.
us tones, bro.
Tones are, these are Seymour Duncan pickups, sounded good. That's clean. Nobody uses clean. Well, obviously I do, but not with this sort of thing. That sounds good. That sounds fat,
This is it. They sound great. Yeah, tonally, no complaints. I don't really have any complaints about the feel, other than the fact that, again, for at this sort of price point, it just doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like a £750 guitar. It sounds like a £750.
Maybe even sounds like a dearer version,
but it doesn't feel like.
And that's your choice. We know. You just need to look at a brand. I guess in this thing, there's kind of no such thing as a free lunch. And by that I kind of mean if you've clearly got a manufacturer that's gone out there and spent £400 on the hardware, then of course that's £300 or £400 of the guitar's budget used up, and therefore the actual what's left to spend on the actual guitar itself will be less. But that's fine. I mean, again, if you've gone and bought a £300 guitar and then spent £400 on pickups and better machine heads and all that kind of stuff, then you've got one of these, or one of these essentially, haven't you? That's essentially what it is. So
there you go.
I'm happy that Washburn again. It's great to see this brand back because that they are one of the kind of the great kind of American rock brands. And I'm happy that Andertons is stocking the Parallaxe range again. As I said, there's tons of guitars. There's probably 40 or 50 guitars in the range with all the different colours and models and stuff. So I'll put a link in the description below. And any of you guys thinking about buying a rock guitar and you're thinking, what else is there other than, Schecter and ESP and Ibanez and Jackson and stuff like that.
It's an alternative, isn't it?
Go check them out because they're very cool and they do offer something a bit different. So I think you should, do you want to just shred out and we'll just fade out on a roller coaster of gain love? What tuning is that?
Drop A.
What does that do in relation to your D string? What does that give you?
Well, no, these are 2 A's.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So
I made it an A-tar.
right, I see. Got it.
Bye!
Bye.
Alright guys, my name's Rabia and I've teamed up with Musicism to teach you how to play guitar. So I've been playing guitar about 10 years. I'm the lead guitarist in the band Dorje, and I also have my own signature model guitar from Chapman Guitars. I have a degree in music performance from the Academy of Contemporary Music, and what I've done here with Musicism is created a guitar course that I really wish I had when I started playing. So with this guitar course, I'm not just going to teach you scales and chords and techniques, but I'm also going to give you the knowledge to become a really awesome guitar player. Throughout the guitar course, we'll be putting together all the skills you've learned so far into some wicked guitar solos that I've written. They get more difficult as you go through, but don't worry, I'll be breaking them down piece by piece. We'll be starting from the ground up, so I'll be teaching you how to hold a guitar pick, to holding the guitar, vibrato and bending, all the way through to awesome guitar solos. By the end of this guitar course, you'll be flying around the fretboard in no time. So let me show you how it works. You'll be following lessons along the learning path that I've laid out for you. We'll learn the guitar step by step so you don't get lost. Once you've finished the lesson, you'll unlock practice exercises to really nail the skills you've learned. Track your progress in a practice journal so you know what to work on next time you sit down with the guitar. Earn badges as you practice. If you really want to challenge yourself, get them all, because if you do, you'll be a really great guitar player. So what's stopping you? Click here to start learning guitar for free, and I'll see you in the first lesson.